I'm making a Danger Fabled deck profile just because I'm excited for their new support cards, presumably later this year, but hasn't been confirmed yet. Starting off with the monsters, I play 2 copies of the Fabled Chawa. The Fabled Chawa can be special summoned just by discarding any Fabled from your hand, which would ideally be one of your 3 Fabled Luries. I only have 2 Lurie at the moment, so for now I'm just playing a copy of the Fabled Cat Sith. But the Fabled Cat Sith is a bit of a danger. I don't really know what to call it, but it has its effect is a mandatory when it's discarded, because if it's discarded, you destroy a card on the field, and it's because it's not a you have to. So if it's discarded while your opponent doesn't have any cards on the field, you have to destroy one of your own. And then Lurie is just a free summon when it's discarded. Speaking of free summons when it's discarded, I also play 3 copies of the Fabled Cerberus. The Fabled Cerberus is also a free summon when it's discarded. Just, that's all it does. And then next I play 1 copy of the Fabled Abonk. The Fabled Abonk has the effect that while it's in the graveyard, you can discard any Fabled to then special summon it from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. Then I play 3 copies of Fabled Cruise. Fabled Cruise has the effect that when it's discarded, you just target any level 4 lower Fabled monster in your graveyard, and then special summon it. Next, I play 3 copies of the best normal summon of the deck, which is Fabled Raven. Fabled Raven has the effect that you can discard any number of cards from your hand to increase its level by 1 and attack by 400 for each card you discarded. Next, I play 1 copy of Fabled Kushano. Fabled Kushano has the effect that if it's in the graveyard, you can discard a Fabled monster to return it to your hand. And then next, I play 3 copies of Fabled Marcosia. Fabled Marcosia has the effect that if it's in your hand, you can discard 2 cards, you can discard up to 2 monsters, including a Fable, to special summon it. And then if Fabled Marcosia is discarded, you can add a Fabled spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use both of those effects once per turn each. And then I play 3 copies of Fabled Grimrow. If you control a Fabled monster, you can discard Fabled Grimrow to then add any Fabled monster from your deck to your hand except for another copy of Grimrow. Moving on to the dangers. All the dangers share the same effect of you can reveal this card in your hand. Your opponent chooses a card in your hand at random to discard. If the discard card wasn't, insert danger name here, then you can special summon the revealed danger and draw 1 card. And then each of the dangers have their own unique effects when they're discarded. I play 2 copies of Danger Jackalope. Jackalope, when discarded, just lets you summon itself from the graveyard. 3 copies of Danger Nessie. Nessie just lets you add a danger from your deck to your hand except for Nessie. 3 Thunderbird. Thunderbird lets you target a set card on the field and destroy it. And then 3 Bigfoot. Bigfoot does the exact same thing as Thunderbird, but face up card. Then for the spells, I play 1 copy of Card Destruction. Who would guess a card that makes both players discard their entire hand would be in a deck revolving around discarding? Card Destructionist makes both players discard their hand and draw the same number of cards. Next, I play 3 copies of Stairway to a Fabled Realm. The main thing with Stairway to a Fabled Realm is that you can only activate 1 per turn, and then when it's activated, you can send a Fabled from your deck to the graveyard, which first you would want to send Kushano, but if Kushano is in your hand or already in the graveyard, you would then send Fabled Abonk. And then it has another effect, but that effect hardly ever actually matters. But the effect is if you have less cards in your hand than your opponent, and your Fabled monster attacks an opponent's monster, you can have your Fabled monster gain attack equal to the difference in cards times 200. So if you have no cards in your hand, but your opponent has 6, then your Fabled monster will gain 1200 attack points. And then lastly, for the for the deck, I play 3 copies of Fabled Treason. Fabled Treason has the effect that you could target one Fabled monster in your graveyard, one card on your opponent's field, and then discard one card. However, the cost of it is just the targeting. You do not discard for cost. But you discard a card, destroy the targeted monster card on field, and then summon the targeted monster in the graveyard. And you can only activate one Fabled Treason per turn. And that is it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, I play 1 copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight has the effect that if you link summon it using a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link, you can target 1 card on the field or in either graveyard and banish it. And then your opponent activates a card or effect. You can activate Little Knight's effect, targeting 2 monsters on the field with at least 1 being your own. Banish both until the end phase. One thing I should probably also mention is that the first effect of Little Knight also prevents you from going to your battle phase that turn. Then I play 1 copy of Saryuja Skuldred. Saryuja Skuldred has 3 effects that it gains depending on how many different monsters are used to summon it. If it was 2 or more, any monster summoned to a zone it points to gains 300 attack. 3 or more, once per turn you can special summon a monster from your hand. And then 4, you get to draw 4 cards and then put 3 cards in your hand at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then next, I play 1 copy of Formula Synchron. Formula Synchron has the effect that when it's synchro summoned, you can draw 1 card. And then during your opponent's main phase, you can activate Formula Synchron's effect to synchro summon using this card you control. And then next, I play 3 copies of Fabled Raijin. Fabled Raijin has the effect that when it's summoned, or when it is synchro summoned, you can draw until you have 2 cards in hand, which normally when you're making this, you have no cards in hand. So usually it's just a free +2. And then I also play 1 copy of TG Hyper Librarian. TG Hyper Librarian has the effect that when a monster is synchro summoned, you can draw 1 card. And then in order for that effect to resolve, Librarian has to remain on the field. Next, I play 3 copies of Fabled Andraith. Fabled Andraith has the effect that when it's synchro summoned, you can activate its effect to draw 2 cards and then discard 1. Or your opponent can negate that effect by discarding 1 card. And if a monster is sent to your opponent's graveyard from their hand, you can special summon that monster to your field. You can only use each effect of Fabled Andraith once per turn. Next, I play 1 copy of Groza, Tyrant of Thunder. Groza has the effect that... let's see, I can't remember how it's worded specifically. During your opponent's main phase quick effect, you can target an effect monster on the field. Discard a monster, and if you do, negate that monster's effect till the end of the turn. You can only use that effect of Groza, Tyrant of Thunder once per turn. And then if a Fiend monster is sent from your hand to the graveyard, you can activate one of the following effects, where you can make it so that Groza can't be destroyed by a battle, can't be destroyed by spells, or can't be destroyed by traps. Okay, my bad. It can't be destroyed by battle, spells, or targeted with traps. Then I also play 1 copy of Fabled Valkyris. Fabled Valkyris just has the once per turn effect of discarding a Fiend to draw 1 card. And then next I play 1 copy of Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon is just a monster, has the effect that when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can negate that effect, destroy it, and if you do, Crystal Wing gains that monster's attack till the end of the turn. And then if Crystal Wing battles a level 5 or higher monster, Crystal Wing also gains attack equal to that monster's attack until the end of the damage step. Then I play 1 copy of Fabled Leviathan. Fabled Leviathan honestly shouldn't be in this deck, but since I do not have a shooting Quasar Dragon, I'm playing Leviathan instead. Leviathan's only effect is when it's destroyed, you can target up to 3 fabled monsters in your graveyard, and then you add them to your hand. That's it. It's not very good, but I like it at least. And then lastly, I play one copy of Cosmic Quasar Dragon. Cosmic Quasar Dragon has the effect that when it is synchro summoned, you can activate its effect to. I don't remember if it actually targets. Okay, you can target face-up cards on the field up to the number of monsters used to summon it, +1, negate their effects. And then, in this current build of the deck, Cosmic Quasar Dragon doesn't do anything besides that, but it does have the quick effect of being able to tribute or banish itself. Can never remember this part. Okay, you can banish it after it was synchro summoned. 2 special summon a synchro monster from your extra deck that acquires 2 non-tuner synchro monsters as material, treating it as a synchro summon. Which ordinarily you would summon this, negate a bunch of cards, and then you would banish it to summon Shooting Quasar Dragon. But that is it for my Danger Fabled deck profile. If you have any ideas what I can do to improve the deck, any ideas for decks like to see made in the future, or decks like to see face each other, comment down below. I always read the comments. Thanks for watching.